Find yourself a comfortable seat. It can be on the floor like I am. I have a couple blankets here. You can sit on a block. You can use a chair like we did the other day. And allow yourself to settle in for a moment. And rest your hands on your thighs for a moment. Your upper arms in line with your side ribs. You can close your eyes. Draw your eyes back and down to gaze at the seat of your heart, the seat of your soul. And without changing anything, first simply check in with yourself. Check in with your body experience. Check in with your emotional experience. Without labeling anything good or bad, notice the thoughts that are flowing through your mind. And having observed, we'll begin to adjust. So finding that even balance on your sits bones. Left sits bone, right sits bone. Balancing evenly. Lengthening from the upper inner thighs through the inner knee. And lengthening also from the upper inner thighs towards the abdomen. So that whole inner groin is lengthening. As you take each action, observing how that action affects the body and affects the breath. Yoga is not in the action itself, it's in the studying the effects of the actions. Descend the flesh of the upper inner thighs. So move the flesh of the upper inner thighs, move from the front of the leg towards the back of the leg. And draw from your outer knees to outer hips. Compact your hips together. And as you do that, as you draw from the outer knees to the outer hips, as you compact your hips together, do so in such a way that you still are lengthening and releasing the inner groins. So that you're not working so hard on the outer leg that you wind up gripping the inner leg. And you use your brain to send separate signals to the inner legs and the outer legs. One opening, inner legs opening, lengthening, outer legs contracting, outer hips compacting. And again, noticing the effect that these actions have on other parts of the body, on the torso, on the breath itself, as the breath flows through this shape that you're creating. Maintaining that awareness in the legs, lengthen through the side ribs, and see if you can find an evenness on the two sides of your body. And also lengthen from the inner armpits to the inner elbows, what we sometimes call the groin of the arms. So lengthening the groin of the legs, lengthening the groins of the arms. And again, noticing how these actions affect the breath. Keep your elbows where they are. Join your palms together at your chest. Touch the palms evenly, left to right, right to left. You don't need to press them hard. Sometimes we even say it's as if they're touching and not touching at the same time. But whatever pressure moves from left to right is equal to that moving from right to left. Move your shoulder bones away from the sides of your neck. Lift your ears up and away from your hips. Soften your face, that your face becomes still. And ensure that your eyes are still resting into your cheekbones, drawing back and down to gaze at your heart. Go inward. And let's chant the syllable Om 3 times together. Exhaling completely, deep inhalation. Before moving, take a moment to observe. Observe the experience of the body, the mind, the breath. Lifting your sternum towards the ceiling, lower your chin towards your heart. Release your hands onto your thighs. Keep lifting the side ribs. With your eyes closed, raise your head and gently let your eyes open. All right, we're going to start lying back today. So come off of your lift or come off of your chair. Take your strap or your towel. Use your towel just to show you how easy it is. And just have it next to you right now. You don't need it right now. Those of you who come to class, you know, often we just take the strap to the side as we do some other work first, but it's near you. Lie back. If you need something for your head, if your head gets thrown back, take a lift underneath your head. It can be a blanket, it can be a couch pillow, it can be a book. Start with your legs bent for a moment. Just scoop the flesh of your buttocks towards your heels to extend the lower back. Straighten one leg at a time. Drag the heels on the floor. Straighten your legs. Feet together, heels together. Take your arms up by your sides in Tadasana. So this is Supta Tadasana, lying back. So that means the arms and legs are working here. So in Tadasana, what do we say? We say press the thighs back. So press your thighs down. But you also have to take the tailbone in. In this case, that's up. So the thighs go back down. The tailbone goes in as the top of the buttocks goes towards your heels. We talk about balancing evenly on the feet in Tadasana. Well, right now we're not balanced on the feet, but can you extend through the feet evenly? Can you extend from the upper inner thighs through the inner knees, through the inner heels, pushing out through the inner heels evenly? And then drawing from the outer knees to the outer hips. The flesh of the inner thighs descends. And remember, as you extend from the top of the thigh out through the knee, through the heel, the inner thigh also draws back the opposite way towards the abdomen. So that whole inner groin is lengthening. Finding length through the side ribs. And now, as we normally, when we're standing, we balance evenly on the feet. Can you see that there's an evenness, that there's an even imprint into the floor? That your legs are imprinting the floor evenly, that your arms are imprinting the floor evenly, that your back is imprinting the floor evenly. Now maintaining the work of the legs, so lengthening the inner legs, outer knees to outer hips, interlock your thumbs together and extend your arms overhead. Keep lengthening through the legs as you do so. Thighs down, tailbone in, top of the buttocks towards your heels. Now notice as you take the arms overhead, the front bottom ribs tend to move towards the ceiling. Take the front bottom ribs towards the floor, towards the back body. And then extend through the arms, extending from the armpit, through the elbow, through the wrists. And then releasing the arms. Remember which way you interlock the thumbs. Coming back to Supta Tadasana, arms out by your sides. Still extending through the legs. The inner thighs extending in both directions, out through the heel, back towards the abdomen. But evenly now, evenly through each foot. Can you experience an even pressure as if you were standing? Outer knees to outer hips. Interlock your thumbs the opposite way. Extend your arms overhead. Keep extending through the legs as you do so. Extend equally through the side ribs. Which side of your body feels like it's extending more? Which side of your body feels shorter? Can you even it out? Work the legs evenly. Work the side ribs evenly. Work the arms evenly. Lengthening the whole body. But remember, it's not so much the distance between your heels and your fingertips that are important. It's creating more space through which your breath can flow. And then completely release and relax. Let your arms go, let your legs go. Breathe into your shoulders and breathe into your hips. Breathe into your shoulders and breathe into your hips. And bend your legs again. Scoop the flesh of the buttocks towards the heels. Bend the right leg into your chest. Take your strap or a towel. I have a towel here. Take that around your foot. I like to do it where the heel meets the arch. Keep your arms relatively straight and don't hold on for dear life. Although to be honest, with the towel, it's a little softer on your hands. You might want to try that one day. Heel above your hip. Turn the thigh in so that your knee points straight forward. Press the thigh bone back again. And again, lengthen of the inner leg. So lengthen from the inner thigh through the inner knee, through the inner heel. Push through the ball of the big toe. The flesh of the inner thigh moving straight back. And the drawing of your outer knee to your outer hip. But keep that thigh moving back. Also keep the outer hip, outer right hip moving away from your shoulder so the two sides of your torso are equal in length. Now maintaining that, drag your left heel on the floor and straighten your left leg. So 2 straight legs. And now have the left leg begin to mirror what the right leg is doing. So that means the thigh turns in, kneecap points up, toes point up, thigh bone presses down. Don't just push your knees back in either leg, especially those of you that tend to go into your knees. Don't just push the knees, but can you come to the thighs themselves and push the thigh bones back? Lengthening the inner groin. So that straight leg now, the lower leg, lengthening out through the heel, back towards the abdomen. Both legs, outer knees to outer hips, compact those hips together. The right outer hip, the leg that's going towards the ceiling, moves away from your shoulder. And take a moment to observe how the breath breathes you, how the breath flows through you when your body is in this shape. And release. Bend both legs. Scoop the flesh of the buttocks towards your heels. Bend your left leg into your chest. Take the strap, towel, belt of your robe, whatever it is, over your left foot. Straighten your left leg. Is this one different? Are you happy now that you're on your easier leg? Or is this, like it is for me, is this the harder leg to do? Turn the thigh so that the kneecap points forward. No death grips and keep it on the hands and keep those outer shoulders moving down. Press the thigh bone back. Lengthen from the inner thigh through the inner knee, through the inner heel, but also lengthening back towards the abdomen. That whole groin lengthening. And the flesh of the inner thigh moving back. Draw from your outer knee to your outer hip. Take the left outer hip away from your shoulder so the two sides of your torso are equal in length. And then drag in your right heel, straighten your right leg. So 2 straight legs now. The right leg now needs to mirror the left leg. So turn the thigh in. Press the thigh bone down. Left one back, right one down. Lengthen the inner thighs, so both legs working. The flesh of the inner thighs moving from the front of the leg to the back of the leg. And draw your outer knees to your outer hips. Compact those hips together. Again, that left outer hip still moving away from your shoulder. Sides of your torso equal in length. Roll the outer shoulders down. Notice how the breath breathes you. It's not necessarily the same as it was on the other side because these muscles are different. The work on this side is different. And then take both legs in your strap, your towel, whatever you're using today. Heels over your hips. Don't take your legs closer to your face. Do not just push your shin bones and knees back. It is a straight leg, but can you press the thighs back? Lengthen through the inner groins, from the inner thigh out through the inner knee, inner heel, and back towards the abdomen. Draw your outer knees to your outer hips. Compact your hips together. Now this is abdominal work. So draw your abdomen towards your spine. Move the abdomen down towards the spine. And then bend your legs into your chest. Put your strap, your towel to the side. We're going to do that same pose now without the strap. If you need the strap, if it's too much work for your abdomen or you're feeling your lower back, just take the strap again. Otherwise, take your hands by your hips, bend your legs into your chest and flex your toes. Now roll your shoulders down so you don't take it in the shoulders. Iron your abdomen down towards the spine. The abdomen moves down and slightly up underneath the ribs. And straighten the legs to 90 degrees. It helps to squeeze the thighs together. So still lengthening through the inner legs. The flesh of the inner thighs moving back, outer knees to outer hips. But now squeeze your thighs together. And draw your abdomen down towards the spine. And notice if one side of your abdomen is working harder. So for me, my left side knows how to work. The right side doesn't. So I have to bring extra awareness to the right side and say, come on, you can do this too. And bend your legs into your chest. Feet on the floor. Take a breath. Now we'll do it one more time. You can keep your hands there. You can go back to using the strap. Keep your hands by your hips or extend your arms overhead. Those are your choices. Bend your legs into your chest. Flex your toes. Squeeze your thighs together here. Start that here. Iron your abdomen down. Then moves down and underneath the bottom ribs. And straighten the legs. Keep the thighs squeezed together. Lengthen the groins. Outer knees to outer hips. If the arms are overhead, extend through those as well. So there's an extension through the legs and the arms. Abdomen down. Lower back down. And bend your legs into your chest. Take your feet on the floor. Straighten your legs one at a time. And release and relax. Breathe into your shoulders. Breathe into your hips. And bend your legs, extend your right arm past your right ear, roll to the right, use your left hand in front of you, come up to standing, come up to Tadasana. Check in with yourself. So remember when we started, we were doing Tadasana. And we were asking for the back part of the body, the part that was facing the floor, for an evenness. We don't have that feedback now. We have it with the feet. We don't have that feedback for the back body, but can you remember the feedback from the floor? What did you have to adjust? And can you adjust that here? Now you also have the feedback for the feet, so press evenly through the feet, left foot, right foot. Thighs pressing back. Take the tailbone forward as you take the top of the buttocks down, but keep the thighs pressing back as you do that. Take the front bottom ribs towards the back body. Lengthen through the side ribs. Shoulders down, extend through the fingers. We'll do some shoulder work. Extend your arms forward. Draw the shoulder bones to the shoulder sockets. Watch those ribs. Take the ribs to the back body. From the base of the shoulder blades, push the arms up. Urdhva Hastasana. Keep the ribs in. Thighs back, ribs in. Take the triceps towards the nose. Open the top of the back. Take your hands out to the sides. Come down. And interlace your fingers together. Right first finger on top. Turn your palms out. Push the webbing of your fingers together. Now before you take your arms up, balance evenly on your feet. Press the thighs back, tailbone in. Take the front bottom ribs towards the back body. Maintain that as you take the arms up. Don't give up on the thighs or the ribs as you take the arms up. Extend through the wrists, not just where the fingers meet, but extend through the wrists as the shoulder blades move down. And again, it's not about the actions, but it's about the effects of the actions. Can you observe? Release your arms out to the sides, come down. Interlace your fingers the opposite way. Turn your palms out. Push the webbing of your fingers together. Inhale, come up. Again, ribs back, thighs back. Wrist towards the ceiling, shoulders down. Release your arms out to the sides, come down. Observe. Don't just be here waiting. What's the next pose? When will we do it? You're in Tadasana. Can you be here observing? Garudasana. Take your right elbow on top of your left. Cross your forearms. Touch your palms. If you can't cross the forearms, you can take one arm, keep it straight, take the other arm in front of it, drop that shoulder down, and you can be here. That's fine too, until you get the openness in the shoulder. Watch those ribs. The ribs tend to puff out again. Take the ribs back. Now take your upper arms parallel to the floor, forearms perpendicular to the floor. Rotate your wrists so the knife edge of your hand faces forward. Move your elbows now towards each other. And can you broaden across the top of the back? And release, Tadasana. Opposite arm, take your left over your right, cross your forearms, touch your palms. Watch those ribs. Thighs back, ribs back, tailbone in. Take your upper arms parallel to the floor, forearms perpendicular to the floor. Rotate the wrist. So you're not here with the wrist, but you turn the wrist so the knife edge of your hand faces forward. Then move your elbows towards each other. Push your elbows into each other. Broaden across the top of the back. And release, Tadasana. Now, sometimes it helps to get some momentum in the arms. So what we'll do is we'll swing the arms out and then swing them back in, one elbow on top of the other. So swing your arms out like a bird, like an eagle, you're flying, swing them back in, one elbow on top of the other. Use that momentum. And then it's the same work. Upper arms parallel to the floor, forearms perpendicular to the floor. Rotating the wrist so the knife edge points forward. Moving the elbows towards each other. Broaden across the top of the back. Observing the breath. And then fly the arms out and then fly them back in, other elbow on top. Upper arms parallel to the floor, forearms perpendicular to the floor. Rotate the wrist, rotate the wrist so the knife edge of your hand points forward. Move the elbows towards each other, broaden across the top of the back. And release, Tadasana. Interlace your fingers together. Turn your palms out. Keep those ribs in. Thighs back, ribs in. Push the webbing of the fingers together. Inhale, come up. Is it different now? Hug your upper arms into your ears. Take your shoulders down as you extend the wrists up. Arms coming forward, turn the palms to face you, switch the interlock, turn the palms out, push the webbing of the fingers together. Inhale, come up. Keep those ribs in as you take the arms up. Hug the upper arms into your ears, shoulders down, wrists up. Don't lean the shoulders back. I see a couple of your screens on here. I don't see everyone, but someone's leaning their shoulders back. Keep the shoulders over the hips. Take your palms down in front of you, turn your palms to face you, come back into Tadasana. Again, balance evenly on the feet. Press through the feet, not the toes, foot. Thighs back. Lengthen from the inner knees to the lower abdomen, outer knees to outer hips. Compact the hips. And then can you adjust the back body as if it's still against the floor or a wall, making an even imprint. Separate your feet hip distance apart. Extend your arms forward. Keep the ribs in. Arms up. We're going into Utkatasana. So draw your abdomen in. Draw your abdomen up and then bend your legs. Keep the weight on your heels. Keep the weight on your heels. Sit into it. Sit into it more. Don't let the knees come out either. So the thighs still turn in. It does help to lengthen those groins and descend the groins. It does help to compact the hips together. All that is still there. And press into the heels, reach through the arms, come up. Turn your hands out to the sides. Come down. So I'm not seeing everything. You know, in a class in person, I can see what's going on and help make corrections. But one of the things that often happens here is that as we go down, the knees want to come apart and we fall to the outer leg, and also we begin to really fall forward. Now, to be clear, your spine is not perpendicular. You come over the legs a little bit. But can you keep the thighs turned in so that the knees, feet, hips are all in line with each other? The knees don't go out. You do need to turn the thighs in to do that and descend the flesh of the inner thighs. Oh, something happened here. Hang on. Are you guys still seeing me? If you're seeing me, give a thumbs up.
Only in the small screen.
Yeah, small screen. Screen.
What happened here?
And your
Whoa.
screen sharing.
All right, hold on, hold on, hold on. Who do you see now?
Just the little screens.
All right, my apologies. Let's see if we can.
Good.
You're back. You're
All
back.
right. I have no idea what happened. I've never seen that before. But hopefully we're back. All right. So again, you want to keep those thighs in with the flesh of the inner thighs descending. It's going to help to compact the outer knees to the outer hips, or lift your outer knees to the outer hips, compact the hips to keep that chest lifted. So let's try it one more time. Start with your hands on your hips. Keep those thighs turned in. And then begin to sit into it. Lean back onto the heels. Keep the thighs turned in, knees in line with the hips. Keep the flesh of the inner thighs descending. Compact those hips together. Sit into it. Keep the chest lifted, although to be clear, I don't want you to be confused that it's upright. It is not, but it's lifted. The abdomen draws in and up to help lift the chest. And then take your arms forward, arms up. And pushing through your heels, reach up. Hands out to the sides, come down. So let's try it one more time, this time with the arms up. So arms forward, arms up. Urdhva Hastasana. Now draw the ribs in, draw the abdomen in. Start now. Take the flesh of the inner thighs back. Start now. And then begin to sit into it. Keep the torso upright even though you know it's coming over. Sit into it. Lengthen the inner thighs. Descend the flesh of the inner thighs. Draw from your outer knee to your outer hip. Lift the chest. Extend through the arms. Reach through the arms. And then as you press into the heels, reach up. Pull yourself up. Hands out to the sides. Come down. Tadasana. Checking in with yourself. All right, as long as we're doing some abdomen work here, let's have a seat. Take your hands behind you. Now we're going to go through this in stages. You can stop at any stage you want. So stage one, lift your chest. Notice if those ribs come out. Still draw the ribs into the body. Draw your abdomen in and up. Squeeze your thighs together and just lift your feet and flex your toes. That's it. Squeeze your thighs though. The flesh of the inner thighs moving back, compacting the hips together. We're moving towards Navasana, Paripurna Navasana, full boat pose. And then take your feet down. So maybe that's as far as you go today. You're going to do that for all the different versions. That's fine. And others of you, lift your legs, flex your toes. So everyone lift your legs, flex your toes, squeeze your thighs together, abdomen in and up. Abdomen in and up. You can have your elbows a little bent, that's fine. And then straighten your legs with your shin parallel to the floor. Squeeze the thighs together. Squeeze them together, draw your abdomen in and up. Squeeze the thighs together, draw your abdomen in and up. And bend, come down. Take a breath. Lift your legs, flex your toes. Abdomen in and up. Squeeze your thighs together. As you squeeze your thighs together, still descend the flesh of the inner thighs. Still compact the hips together. Squeeze the thighs, shins parallel to the floor. Squeeze the thighs together. You can stop here. Straighten your legs. I'll show you from this side. Squeeze the thighs. Squeeze the thighs. Abdomen in and up. And then bend your legs, feet down. Take a breath. Now lift the chest. Lift the legs. Flex the toes. Maybe this is where you stop. Squeeze the thighs together. If I don't think about it, my legs come apart. So I have to remind myself, squeeze the thighs, abdomen in and up. Shins parallel to the floor, squeeze the thighs again, abdomen in and up. Straighten the legs, squeeze the thighs, abdomen in and up. And then if you have it, you can straighten your legs, straighten your arms. And then hands down, bend your legs, come down. All right? So we'll do it one more time. You pick whichever version of those you want. You don't have to straighten your arms. If you really notice me carefully, you'll notice I spin a little. This is a very sticky mat. You don't notice it so much. But I begin to spin a little bit because my left abdomen is holding it. My right abdomen isn't. So it causes me to spin somewhat to the right side. So begin to notice which side is working for you. So hands on the floor, lift the chest. Squeeze the thighs. Abdomen in and up. Lift the legs. Squeeze the thighs. Flex the toes. Squeeze the thighs. Shins parallel to the floor. Squeeze the thighs, compact the hips, abdomen in and up. If you're continuing, straighten the legs, then arms up. Whichever version you want. Shoulders down if the arms are up. Abdomen in and up. And then hands down, bend the legs, come down. Rest for a moment. Cross your legs if you'd like, whatever is comfortable. Just take stock of your body for a moment. Let's come back up to Tadasana one more time. Notice your Tadasana. Does it feel different? Is your abdomen more engaged? So draw the ribs in, thighs back. Now I want you to work your hands differently right now. I want you to take your hands behind your hips, right? Tadasana, you're in line. Take your hands behind your hips and turn your palms to face the back. So this is what it looks like from the back. So turn your palms to face the back, hands behind the hips, and then push down. Now as you push down, instinctually, for many of us, these ribs are going to pop forward, right? So you have to take the ribs in. So the work isn't being done by the ribs. The abdomen still draws in, but that then allows the shoulders to lift and the shoulder blades to come in, and the shoulders themselves to release away from your ears. If you just do it by puffing the ribs out, the shoulders don't really move down. Maybe they move down a little bit. If you draw those ribs in, then the work has to go somewhere. It will go into the shoulders. So this is a standing version of Shalabhasana. We'll teach a Trikonasana, triangle pose. Bring your fingertips up by your chest, bend your legs, jump or step your feet apart. Drop your shoulders, hold your arms up from your armpits. Turn your left foot in, turn your right leg out. Take your front heel in line with your back arch. Press the outer rim of the back heel, turn the front thigh out, lift both outer knees to outer hips, compact the hips together. Keep those ribs in. Inhale. Exhale, take your right hand down, take your left hand on your hip, and then don't take the left arm up today, but take it out by the side, palm faces back, the head is back, palm faces back, and extend the arm away from you. The hand slightly behind the hip. So the same arm we just had from Tadasana. Still the legs, press into the back heel, turn the front thigh out. Lift both outer knees to outer hips, compact the hips. And that top arm is a Shalabhasana arm. And take the arm up and pull yourself up and out. Parallel your feet. You only get one shot at your Utthita Trikonasana today. We're not doing it twice. So don't hold back. Right foot and left leg up. Because we have some back bends to get to. Press into the back heel. Turn the front thigh out. Lift both outer knees to outer hips. Compact the hips together. Watch if your front ribs are sticking out. Draw them back into the body. Inhale. Exhale. Take your left hand down. Take your right hand on your hip. Then straighten the right arm. Turn the palm to face the back. Head goes back. Don't tuck the chin. Get into the legs. Press the back heel. Turn the front thigh out. Lift the outer knees to the outer hips. That helps rotate the chest. And then move that top arm back. Shalabhasana. But don't stick the front ribs out just to move the arm back. Take the front ribs in and move the arm back. And take the arm up. Pull yourself up and out. Parallel your feet. Jump or step your feet together. All right, lie down on your mat, face down. If you want something underneath you, you don't have to have it. But if you want to take a blanket, you can take it here or the towel. Lie down, the edge of your hip at the edge of the blanket. I'll do it without the blanket just so you know that you don't need anything. Just makes it a little nicer. Face down. Extend your left arm up and your right leg up. Keep the forehead down. I can't talk with my forehead down, so I might just have to talk you through this one. But lying face down, you can't really see me anyway. Hopefully you're not looking at the screen because you can't really see if your head is down. Left arm up, right leg up. And it's not about how high they go, but now extend them away from each other, crossing through the sacrum. And then keep that extension, and then take the arm and foot down. And then the opposite side, right arm, left leg, lift it up. Just an inch or two, not very high, because we're looking for the length right now. Do you take the tailbone down as you do this? And extend out. Make them long. And then keeping that length, take the hand and the leg down. And then let's do both at the same time. Take the tailbone down. When you lift the legs, don't just lift your feet, lift the thighs up. Lift the thighs up and lift the arms up. The forehead is still down, extend. And release, come down. Take your hands now by your hips, palms up. We'll do the legs first. I like to do this pose in sections. Turn the thighs in so the face of the knees points down. And then take your tailbone down, lift your legs up from the thighs and extend the legs back. From the inner thigh, extend out through the big toe. There is also the drawing back from the inner thigh towards the abdomen, but really extend the leg out. Still compact the hips together. And then come down. Now, we'll just do the top part. Still the tailbone comes down. Lift the hands above your hips. And then use your arms, push the arms up and back. And as you take the hands back, the shoulders come up, the chest comes up, and the head comes up. And then come down. So I'll show you, just in case anybody does have any questions, you can watch or listen. If you know what's going on, just listen. If you want to watch, you can watch. We're going to put it together now. So you'll take your tailbone down, turn the thighs in, lift the thighs up, and really extend out. Still compact the hips together, but I'm still drawing that top of the thigh towards the abdomen because this all is going to need to lift up. Then you'll take your hands up and move the hands back. And the hands, they're above my hips. Here's hip level, here's above the hips, right? Just what we were doing in Tadasana. And pull those arms back to lift the chest, lift the shoulders, lift the chest, eventually the head. Eventually you will look forward, but it depends on your neck. Some of you know I have some neck issues, so I'm not going to look all the way up. So I'll look down ahead of me. If you don't have any issues, you can look up. That's fine. So this is Shalabhasana. And then you'll come down. All right? So your turn now. Take the tail, hands are by your hips, take the tailbone in. Actually, before you take the tailbone in, you turn the thighs in. So turn the thighs in so the kneecaps face down. Then take the tailbone in. Then lift the legs from the thighs, not the feet, from the thighs. The feet follow. Extend through the legs. So the inner groin is extending out through the big toe. Yes, back towards the abdomen. Yes, the flesh of the inner thighs rising up. Yes, drawing the outer knees to the outer hips, but really extending those toes out. And then taking your hands above your hips, pushing those arms back to peel the torso off the floor. The shoulders come up, the chest comes up, ultimately the head beginning to look up. This is abdomen work. Draw the abdomen in and up to help lift the chest. Then exhale, lower the legs and the arms, rest your head. And one more time. This time we'll do it together. So you'll lift the legs from the thighs and the arms at the same time. So from center, hands are by your hips. Turn your thighs in so your kneecaps face the floor. Take your tailbone down. Lift your thighs, lift your arms. Thighs, lift the legs, extend through the legs, the groin in both directions. Move the arms back to peel the torso off the floor. Draw your abdomen in and up. Keep that tailbone moving down, top of the buttocks towards your heels. If you're taking in the lower back, work the thighs, work the tailbone, work the top of the buttocks towards your heels. Exhale, come down. So this time we're going to do a bent leg version of Shalabhasana. So you can watch for a second. So hands by your hips. Instead of straight legs, you're going to bend your legs up. And then lifting the thighs, push the thighs up and take the hands and come back. All right? Pushing the legs. Now, not this one. See how the knees come out? Don't let the knees come out. Keeping the knees don't necessarily stay together. My knees are not together here. They are apart. But I'm not just letting them fall apart. I'm still turning those thighs in to push the legs up. All right? Your turn. So lying down on your stomach. Turn the legs so the kneecaps face down. Hands are by your hips. Push your thighs up. The knees will come apart, but keep them towards each other by turning the thighs in, by taking the flesh of the inner thighs up. And now take your hands up and peel your torso off the floor. Still, abdomen in and up. This is a lot of abdominal work here. And come down. One more time. Now you lift the legs and the arms at the same time. Turn the thighs. So legs are up. But turn the thighs so the kneecaps are down. Lower legs then come up. Hands by your hips. Lift your hands and your thighs at the same time. Move your arms towards your legs, towards the shins, the calves. Peel your torso up, abdomen in and up. And move your thighs towards the ceiling. Move your feet towards the ceiling, but you're pushing the thighs up. And come down. All right. Now, where has this brought us to? Watch. First, you'll start with your arms in front of you. You'll bend your legs like we just did. You'll take a nice big arch and hold on to your ankles. If you can't reach them, you have your strap. This is fine too, okay? You just take your strap, towel, whatever you have. Otherwise, you take hold of them. Again, don't let the knees just fall apart. Turn those thighs in. And then you lift your legs, lift your chest. Use your legs to pull your arms back, but don't resist with your arms. Your arms also push back. So pull the arms back and then push the legs back. And then the thighs go up and the hands push the legs up. Dhanurasana. All right, your turn. So from lying down, turn your thighs in, bend your legs. Arms are in front of you. Then make a nice big arch and reach for those ankles. Take a towel or a strap if you need it. Take the tailbone down. Okay, that's going to help the lower back, top of the buttocks towards your heels. And then lift your arms, lift your legs. Push up with your thighs. Notice how the knees want to splay out. So turn those thighs in. Lengthen the groins from the knee towards the abdomen. Pull your legs back and then push your legs back. So the legs pull the legs, the arms push the legs. And then the legs lift the legs and the arms lift the legs. And then release, come down, rest. We have 2 more of these. Hopefully you're all still up for it. Don't worry, we only have 2 more hours left. All right, one more time. Turn the thighs in. Arms are out in front. Bend your legs, reach back, take hold of your ankles. Tailbone down. Lift your arms, lift your legs. Thighs up. Push your legs up with your thighs. Pull your legs back with your legs. Push your legs back with your arms. Lift your legs with your arms and your legs. And come down. One last time. First one's for the body. Second one's for the mind. Now we do this one for the spirit. So don't leave anything behind. Turn the thighs in. Bend the legs. Tailbone down. Inhale. On your exhalation, sweep, wide sweep with the arm. Take hold of the ankles. Keep the tailbone down. Lift the legs, lift the arms. Pull the legs back, push the legs back. Lift the legs with your legs, lift the legs with your arms. Abdomen in and up. And release, come down. All right, now we're gonna just have a little fun. I can't see any of you, because even those the screens I can see, you're all below where I can see you. So watch, we're gonna put all of that together. Open yourself up. I've never even done this in class before. So open yourself up for something new. It's gonna be sloppy, it's gonna be messy. So laugh with yourself. Shalabhasana. Shalabhasana with bent legs. Reach back. Dhanurasana. Then release the legs. Shalabhasana bent legs. Shalabhasana straight legs. Shalabhasana bent legs. Dhanurasana. Releasing. Straight legs. Bending. All right? We'll do that a few times. Your turn. So lie down first. And if you just want to have nothing to do with this, do downward facing dog. But if you want to play along and just see where it goes, if it's your first time doing it, it'll be a big, beautiful, glorious, fun failure. But you have to try it once. So your choice. Downward dog if you don't want to do this. Otherwise, Shalabhasana, lift your arms, lift your legs. Extend through the legs, extend your arms back, peel your torso up. Now bend your legs. Then reach back a little more with your arms. So Shalabhasana with those arms, grab those ankles. Lift up Dhanurasana. Pull with the legs, push with the arms. Legs up with the legs up with the arms. Then release, Shalabhasana bent legs. Then Shalabhasana straight legs. Then Shalabhasana bent legs. Then hold the ankles. Push up and back. Lift the chest. One more time. Release, bent legs, straight legs, Shalabhasana. Bend your legs. One last Dhanurasana. Take hold of the ankles, push up. Release, bent legs. Keep extending with the arms. Straight legs now, Shalabhasana, the best one you've done so far. And come down, release, relax. Come onto your knees. One last back bend. Turn here, I'll do this from the side. Turn your toes under. It makes the heels closer, right? In the final pose, the feet are down and you know, you get your hands, you're actually, I can't really read fully there, but the heel of the hand is on the heel of the foot, right? That's the final pose. But that's pretty far even to get there for many. So if you take your heels up, when you don't have to do it now, I'm gonna go into the details, but your hands can just go here, and that way you don't have to fall back so much. So come up here with your hips above your knees and your hands on your hips. Take your elbows back so you broaden across the chest, but not so much that you push those ribs forward, right? So the ribs still draw in so that the chest can actually rise. Now, even though the shin is not flat, press down through the shin. So the shin bone moves towards the floor. Reflect that by lifting the outer knees to the outer hips, compact the hips together. Now, hopefully by now, you have the thighs turning in and that flesh of the inner thighs moving back. That's going to help. Hopefully by now you're lengthening from the inner knee towards that lower abdomen. Now start with the chin tucked, keep the ribs in. Now hands on your buttocks. It's okay, it's you, it's your buttocks. Slide your hands down the buttocks. That takes the top of the buttocks down. Slide the top of the buttocks down. Now if it's too much, you can stop here. You don't have to take your hands down. But if your heels are right there, then take your hands on your heels. Now press the shins down again. Outer knees to outer hips, compact those hips. Tailbone in. And if you have enough lift and length in your chest, you can throw your head back. If your head stops halfway, then tuck your chin. You don't want to be stuck here in the middle. So either tuck chin or head back. Bring the shoulder blades in, but don't just puff the ribs out. And then to come out, tuck your chin, lift with your chest, come up, hands on your hips, and have a seat on your heels. If that's uncomfortable, I know some of you can't sit on your heels, just take your towel, take a blanket, take a couch pillow, and just give yourself something to sit on here. That even feels better for me. I can sit on my heels, but that feels so much nicer. All right, one more time. Hands on your hips. Turn your toes under. If you can reach your feet, you can have the tops of your feet down. I'm not that concerned. But don't take your thighs back to reach it. I want your hips over your knees. Press the shins down. Take your elbows back. Shins down. Lift your outer knees to outer hips. Compact the hips. Keep the ribs in. Don't push them out. Tailbone in. Now, hands to the top of your buttocks. Slide it down. The top of the buttocks moving down towards the floor. Arch your back. Keep the chin tucked for now. Arch the back. Arch the back. Arch the back. And then if your heels are right there, that's fine. Now, rotate the upper arms out. That helps create space for the side ribs. Take the front bottom ribs towards the back body. Arch the back. Lift the chest. And if you have it, throw the head back. Fine to keep the head tucked, the chin tucked. Tuck the chin. Press the shins down as you come up. Hands on your hips. Have a seat, either on your heels, take the blanket, give yourself something to sit on, that's fine. Again, first one for the body, second one for the mind. Don't hold anything back. This one is for the spirit, the soul. Come on up. Toes under, hands on your hips. Keep those thighs turned in. Push the shins down, outer knees to outer hips. Thighs turned in. Flesh of the inner thighs moving back as the tailbone in. Tailbone moves in. So those are those opposite actions there, right? Compact those hips together, elbows back, ribs in. Tuck the chin as you come back. Keep lifting the outer knees to the outer hips. Keep lengthening from the inner knee all the way over the torso. The heels are there. Take your fingertips on those heels. Rotate the upper arms out. Now again, press the shins. Outer knees to outer hips. Chin is still tucked. Lengthen from the inner knees all the way through the lower abdomen that reflects over the torso. And then if you have the flexibility, let your head go. And tucking the chin, lift your chest, come up, have a seat. Now it's time for downward facing dog. Hands on the floor. If you have your chair, you want your chair, hands on the chair. Lengthen, hands on the floor, straight arms, straight legs. Lengthen. Turn your thighs and press your thighs back. The work of the legs we've been doing is the same. Lengthen from the inner knee to the lower abdomen. Flex the inner thighs moving back. Outer knees to the outer hips. Right, very nice on a chair if you have it there. Or I showed you the other day, my coffee table. This is my real downward facing dog spot. Not to show you my butt, but there you go. That's what I do on a daily basis. So really pressing those thighs back, outer knees to outer hips. The abdomen, we've been working the abdomen today. So draw that abdomen in and draw that abdomen back towards your thighs. Top of the buttocks away from your shoulders. And now, what instruction am I not giving you that you need? What do you need right now that I haven't said? And then if you're fully on the floor, bend your legs, come into child's pose. If your hands are on the chair or a lift, walk forward, come into Tadasana. Take a moment here, observing, studying. We're going to wind down now. In Tadasana, what child's pose? What's different here? What's changed? In the body, in the mind, in the breath. How is the breath breathing you right now? And release. If you're in child's pose, take your hands underneath your shoulders, push to come up, and everybody lie back. Take a lift underneath your head as if you're setting up for Shavasana. So just in case anyone found this link and is new, you can take a blanket under your head. Some of us might need a higher lift. I have some neck issues, so I take a higher lift. You can take a pillow from the couch. If you don't need the higher lift, don't take it. Just take the flat one. And start with your legs bent. We're going to do a supported twist before we fully go into our Shavasana. You'll take your arms out to the sides. I'll talk you through this. So lying back, arms are out to the sides like a T. Bend your legs into your chest. Squeeze your thighs together. Extend through your left fingertips. Keep both shoulder blades on the floor. Keep that left shoulder blade on the floor. Take your knees towards your right elbow, but don't let the thighs come apart. Squeeze the thighs together. Turn the abdomen to the left as the knees go to the right. Now to come back to center, push with the lower leg. So push your right thigh into your left, come up to center. Take your feet on the floor and square your hips and square your shoulders. Bend your legs back into your chest. Extend through your right fingertips. Keep your right shoulder blade down. Squeeze the thighs together, keep them together, and take your knees towards your left elbow. Turn your abdomen to the right as your knees go to the left. Thighs together. Push with the lower leg, come up. Take your feet on the floor. Square your hips and square your shoulders. We're going to do that again, but we're not going to hold it for so long. We'll go back and forth. So draw your legs into your chest. Thighs stay together. Extend through the left fingertips. Take the knees to the right. And then inhale, come up, pushing with the lower leg. Knees over to the left. Exhaling. So inhale up, exhale down. Inhale, legs come back to center. Exhale to the right. Inhale, back up to center. Exhale to the right. The left, sorry. Inhale up to center. Exhale to the right. The other side. One last time. Inhale up. Exhale to the other side. And inhale, come back up. Take your feet on the floor. Square your hips and square your shoulders. Bend your legs back into your chest. Give yourself a little hug here. Now is a beautiful opportunity to say something kind to yourself, something loving to yourself, acknowledging the worthiness inside of you, the love inside of you, the true splendor inside of you. Now take your hands on the face of your kneecaps. And on your inhalation, keep your hands on your knees, but let your legs move out a little bit away from you. And then exhale, draw your legs towards you. We're just easing the back a little bit. Inhale, the legs move away. Just a few inches. Exhale, the legs come towards you. Pace of your breath. Inhale, legs move away. Exhale, legs move towards you. So it massages the abdomen, eases the lower back. On your next inhalation, take your feet to the floor. Scoop the flesh of your buttocks towards your heels. Straighten your legs one at a time. Now listen, for back bends, for some people, it can irritate the lower back, especially if the abdomen isn't doing enough of the work. So if you need, you can certainly take some couch cushions or bolster if you have it underneath your knees, or just keep your legs bent. Or if you have a chair, you can take your calves on the chair. Take your calves on the chair, bend your legs with your feet on the floor, knees together, feet apart is fine. Take your hands out at 30-degree angles to your body. So find a comfortable lying back position for yourself. What do you need? And begin to settle in. The work is done. Start simply observing. Let the arms, the legs flow away from the torso, like 4 streams flowing away from the source. Let the skull flow away from the torso, an additional stream flowing away from the source. Release, relax all of your facial features, should begin to feel as if the skin, the flesh, is dissolving away, melting towards the floor. The whole body being absorbed by the Mother Earth below you, being held, cradled by the Mother Earth below you. Begin to observe as the breath breathes you. You do not need to breathe, the breath will breathe you. Be silent for a few minutes here. Be here, you and your breath, nothing else. I rang the bells to get your awareness, but we are actually going to continue. Often on Thursdays, I teach pranayama. I'm not going to teach a traditional pranayama the way I usually do. But someone emailed, Tracy emailed, asking for suggestions on how to use the breath to deal with some of the anxiety that people are feeling. So if you want nothing to do with that, you're welcome to come out of your Shavasana. I love you. And you can move on. You can stay lying back if you feel more comfortable in a chair. If you feel you're very tired, you can sit in a chair. I'm going to go through some techniques, simple techniques that anybody can do. And the beauty of this, unlike traditional pranayama, where you need either the right lying back setup, or you need to be able to sit in the right position. This one you can do anywhere. You can do it lying back. You can do it sitting down. You can do it walking. You can do it driving. Any position, anytime. So before we make any changes, whenever we work with the breath, I always recommend you just observe the breath. So we've been doing that in Shavasana. Let's do that for another couple of minutes. Simply observe the breath. Let the breath breathe you. Don't try and change it. Don't try and move it. Don't try and lengthen it. The breath, prana, has infinite wisdom. We talk about prana as the breath, but prana, we can't really define it, but B.K. Sanger talks about it as the cosmic energy, all of the energies of the universe. So with that, there's infinite wisdom. And the breath knows what to do. Just watch and let the breath breathe you, and seek to learn by where the breath chooses to go. Notice that when you do this, the breath will change. The breath will change automatically. No two breaths are ever alike. So simply observe each breath. Let the breath breathe you. Now the sympathetic nervous system is our fight, flight, freeze response. To calm the sympathetic nervous system, we lengthen the exhalation. So can you begin to make the exhalation longer than the inhalation? You can count if you want, right? So if you're counting the inhalation, if the inhalation comes to 4, exhale for 6, or exhale for 8, Don't overdo it. Don't exhaust yourself. If you do this too much, then you can tire yourself out, which will then engage the sympathetic nervous system. So don't exhaust yourself, but can you begin to lengthen the exhalation and make the exhalation longer than your inhalation? So again, if you're inhaling for 4, exhale for 6, or exhale for 8 if you have the capacity. If the inhale is for 6, exhale for 8, or exhale for 10 if you have the capacity. Don't overdo your capacity. The mind will wander. Simply come back to your breath. Do this for a couple more minutes. Extended exhalation. So this extended exhalation is very important, very powerful for when you are feeling anxious, which is happening a lot, in these days. We are unsure of what's going to happen. Now, the thing is, the body cannot stay in one state for an extended period of time. So often it will switch from anxiety into a tiredness, an exhaustion, a sadness, a depression. Now, if you are anxious, stick with the breath we're doing. If you're very anxious right now. If you feel tired, exhausted, on the scale of sadness, depression, then begin to lengthen the inhalation. So a longer inhalation than exhalation. So inhale to 6 or 8 and exhale 4. A longer inhale than your exhalation. And that brings energy into the body, wakes the body up, gives it oxygen. So when you're tired or depressed, we increase the inhalation. So let's do this for a few minutes or continue. If you're heavy on the anxiety scale, don't do this. It can increase it. Stick with extended exhalation. But know about this one because at some point, your body will re-regulate and switch itself. So to gain that energy, extended inhalation, longer inhalation than exhalation. And if you have a little of both, which is quite normal, then you begin to even it out. A little lengthened inhalation, a little lengthened exhalation. So inhaling is normally 4, inhaling to 6, exhaling to 6. Again, not overdoing your capacity. You can even hold on the inhalation. So you can inhale to 6 and just hold for a count of 1 or 2. And then exhale for 6, hold for a count of 1 or 2. Evening out the inhalation and the exhalation. Over time, we won't do it today. This is new for some of you. Over time, the holds can be equal, ultimately even longer, but equal to that of the inhalation and exhalation. So you could inhale for 6, hold for 6, exhale for 6, hold for 6. But don't overdo the holds. I'm not doing that. I'm giving that to you so you can practice on your own, but don't overhold. If you get exhausted, that's not beneficial either. So for now, just simply even out the inhalation and the exhalation. Have them both just slightly extended from what you might normally do, or slowed down from what you might normally do. And now just come to a normal breath. Let the breath breathe you. Don't do anything. You'll notice that it's most likely a little bit different. So let the breath breathe you. And then to begin to come back to awareness, lengthen the inhalation, lengthen the exhalation. Wiggle your toes, wiggle your nose. Bend your legs, place your feet on the floor, knees together, feet apart, hands onto your abdomen or onto your chest. Extend your right arm past your right ear, roll to the right, be on your right side for a moment. Take a few breaths here. And then take your left hand on the floor in front of your heart. Push with your left hand, right elbow, push to come up. Come up chest first, head last. Come up to sitting on the floor, in a chair, whatever's comfortable. Bring your palms together at your chest. Taking a moment to observe your practice. Observing your body, observing your mind, observing your breath. And let's close our practice together by chanting one collective Om. Deep inhalation. Om. And you let your eyes open. Big smile. Namaste. Bow to the divine within you. So hopefully that was helpful to you. Just a few tips that you can use instantly anywhere you are to change your breath, to change your experience. So I'll just unmute everyone in case you have any questions. All right. Well, thank you everyone for being here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jonathan. That was really helpful. Made such a difference.
Yes, it's very helpful.
Good. Yes, it definitely makes a difference.